some people sometimes say like, no, Path of Exile shouldn't release like this. They are beta testers. They should bake things more before releasing them. I don't mind being the beta tester. I want to play the thing. Give me the thing and I play. So guys, I have this video here from Try. We love Try. That is called "This New Path of Exile 2 Info Changes the Game. More acts, China, and trade." That word triggers me instantly because you guys know that for me the #1 issue in the game is fucking trading. So I see the word trade and neuron activation right there. But more acts is also neuron activation. This is also neuron activation. More acts. I want more acts. I am bored out of my mind of doing cruel difficulty. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 again. Pain in the ass. I know it is a placeholder. But dude, I know it is my fault for burning myself out by playing the game too much.
We are over 3 months into Path of Exile 2's Dawn of the Hunt update, and finally we just got some new information on 0.3, and while some of you might not care about it, I need to explain why it's more important than you might think. Yeah, so several days ago, Jonathan Rogers sat down, well, he actually flew to China to talk with members of the Chinese community and the lead developer of the Chinese version of Path of Exile 2 about the future of the game and what's coming in 0.3. And while the interview was filled with talks about balance, which I discussed with Jonathan in my interview, Zizrin discussed with Jonathan in his, and everyone has talked to Jonathan about, there's actually only really 2 big things that emerged from this interview. Now, the first you will be excited about. It's that new acts are coming to Path of Exile 2 sooner than you might think. Jonathan,
Thank God for that. Hey, praise the Lord. Yes, we need new acts. Thank you so much, dude, brother. Some people say, don't bring new acts if you are not going to bring all of them. I say, I don't care about that. If you are only going to give me 1 act, I am fine with that. If you're going to give me 2 acts, I am cool with that. If you are going to give me all of them, hey, praise the Lord. But even if you only give me act 4, I am already going to be happy.
has expressed distaste with how players need to play through all 3 acts twice and how that drains players and how we're not getting the proper experience, and they are really pushing to get these acts 4, 5, and 6 into PoE 2 as fast as possible. We know that the groundwork for these acts were basically finished by the time Path of Exile 2 released in December, and they were just fine-tuning all the areas.
Yeah, brother, because remember, I have videos talking about this. If you don't know, I am going to spell it out for you because we have the confirmation of the story in the art book. I have a video showing that, and also we have basically footage from Act 4 and Act 5. Act 4 is going to be in the Ngakanui Isles. The main city is going to be King's March. Yes, the town we have in PoE 1. And the Act 5 is going to be in Oriath. So, and the guy that you always see in all the PoE 2 pictures, that is the guy with the big cross, that he's like a Templar. He's the leader of the thing in Act 5, right? Probably, likely, not confirmed, but likely the Act boss in Act 5. So, there is footage for Act 5, a fighting in Oriath. So there is a lot of stuff that was already developed before the game released. So that is why I am hopeful we can see new acts. Maybe not completely developed, because even in the 3 acts that we have right now, there are the dens that are leading to somewhere that they are going to put something in there, but they have still not put it there, right? In the Tyrant Grotto, I don't know if you guys remember, there is like a tyrant with a sword on his throat. There is going to be something in there, but right now there is nothing. Stuff like that. Maybe they release these acts with still some empty spots like that, but playable, and that is honestly enough for me.
All the bosses, all the mechanics. So maybe sooner than.
Brother, let's be honest in here, guys. I am looking at the Werber, and yes, I want the Werber. Hey, dude, don't. This is the class that I want the most in the game, the Druid. So don't misrepresent me over here. But you can tell me, and yes, I know, D4 bad, people hate D4. I prefer the model, the model of the character, the wearer in default, because it is an actual wearer. This is not a wearer, this is a bear. You transform into a bear, which, okay, cool, it is not bad, and the bear rolls, the bear does the full round, right? Cool, but it is a bear, it is not a wearer. I want a wearer, dude. But okay, I am nitpicking at this point. I am sorry, guys.
We might think is 0.3, which hits in August. Now, previously they said that they would be dropping all the acts at once, okay? And then they flip-flopped on that and said, actually, we're only going to drop them one at a time. Act 4, Act 5, Act 6. They may have swapped on that once more. I think we'll find out in 0.3. If a new class comes, great. But what I really want to see in 0.3 are these new acts that Jonathan has.
Brother, if I have to choose, because I've been saying I want the Druid and I want Act 4. But if they make me choose, yes, you have to choose one. What do you prefer to be released? You can choose the Druid or Act 4. We are not going to release both. What do you say? I still take the Druid. At that point, and yes, I hate doing cruel 1, 2, 3. But fuck that, I want the Druid, dude. After I do the cruel 1, 2, 3, I am in the end game and I am playing the Druid. Who gives a fuck? Who cares? I prefer the Druid. But hey, let's see what they actually drop. I am getting ahead of myself in here.
Alluded to in this Chinese interview. Not only are the new acts important for just playing through the base campaign, but they also have that trickle-down effect, because lots of bosses in the endgame are reused from the campaign. Same with areas in endgame, and you can introduce more mechanics in Act 4 or Act 5. And you can introduce more item bases that allow for more cool builds to exist in the game. So you might think, oh, it's just a new act. Is it really going to do that much to my play experience? Yes. Yes, it will. It will have a tremendous effect on how you play Path of Exile 2. And you should really want these in the game as fast as possible, not only to play through them, but also to test them. Because remember, we're still in early access and we have done a ton of testing.
You know what having more acts also help with that he didn't mention in here with replayability. And you think how? Yes, I will tell you how. When you do right now the campaign and you do 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3 back to back, okay, you are done and you continue towards the end game. And you say, I want to create a new character. I want to try a new build. And it is with a different class and ascendancy. I can't just respect this character. And you think, brother, if I create a new character, I have to do the acts 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 again. At that point, you are doing 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That prevents you from creating more and more characters because you don't want to go through all this shit again. But if you have more acts and you have to repeat less content, that makes you more likely to go again. So it also increases replayability.
For Acts 1, 2, and 3. And I think out of all the acts, Act 1 has been the most tested. It was obviously the most polished, with Act 2 and Act 3 needing a lot more polish after it hit players. I think Act 4, 5, and 6 are going to be ridiculously untested and need a lot of.
Doesn't matter. I don't give a crap about that. Some people sometimes say like, no, Path of Exile shouldn't release like this. They are beta testers. They should bake things more before releasing them. I don't mind being the beta tester. I want to play the thing. Give me the thing and I play. It doesn't matter if it's broken. I want to play that. Then make a video about saying that it's broken. Come on.
Changes from mass amounts of players actually playing through them and giving the developers good, real feedback. And remember, we know that.
Yeah, good feedback, brother. 99% of the feedback is going to be, this sucks, GG, what are you doing? And 1% of the feedback is going to actually be constructive feedback.
That Act 4 is an island hopping act. It has tons of different environments. You're sailing on a ship from island to island in the Karui archipelago. Act 5, well, those of us who have the art book as I do know what Act 5 is, and I won't spoil that in this video.
I already spoiled it for you. It is Soria. It is Soria.
We'll save that for a future video. And then Act 6, we know, is just a complete race to the finish. It's about half the size of all the other acts, and it's non-stop action. My prediction is that we're going to Path of Exile 2's version of Hell, somewhere called Beyond, where there are demons, and maybe it's the origin of the beast, and maybe we're inside the beast itself, which seems to be growing tremendously from Act 1 to Act 2, and probably from Act 3 to Act 4. We haven't found it yet in Act 3, obviously. So it's going to be crazy when it comes out. I'm so excited to see what Grinding Gear Games is doing with these acts. And if they are anything like Acts 1, 2, and 3, I know these are going to be quality bits of content. And I'm so excited to see all the different monsters.
By the way, there is something cool about the acts not being released yet, in the sense that the feedback people gave for the first 3 acts probably has affected the development of the other acts. For example, the song is too big and there is nothing to do in the song. That feedback probably affected the development of the other acts, right?
All the base items and all the rest that arrive with them. And don't you forget, in Act 4, there's also another Trial of Ascension coming, the Trial of the Ancestors, which will allow us to ascend in a different way. And I know lots of people either hate the Trial of the Sekimas, hate the Trial of Chaos.
The Trial of the Suck My Ass is the worst thing ever. It sucks. But I like the Trial of Chaos. I have no problem with the Trial of Chaos. But I know that some people hate it too.
Or they hate both of them. So this new Ascension Trial will allow players to traverse through a new area and ascend in a different way, which is just a net positive overall, especially if this one is more basic, where you're just beating down waves of enemies and not needing to navigate through this roguelike system or survive against these ridiculous area modifiers in the Trial of Chaos. Okay.
I will tell you something. Yes, I am excited for a new way to ascend, and the Trial of the Ancestors already existed at some point in PoE 1, and it was a good mechanic that people liked. And people are excited for Act 4 because Act 4 implies the addition of the Trial of the Ancestors. But I will tell you something. If at some point they are holding back the release of Act 4 because the Trial of the Ancestors is not ready, I prefer they just releasing Act 4 without the Trial of the Ancestors. I don't care, dude. Just give me the Act 4. You know? Like, don't hold back the Act 4 just because the Trial is not ready. Hey, if it is ready, cool. Praise the Lord. But if it is done, it is done, right? Just give me the act. Yo, Gerard, my dude!
Okay, so that's it about the new acts. I wanted to go in deep because that honestly is the most exciting part for the majority of people interested in PoE 2 and watching this channel. Here is, I think, even larger news, especially for people playing for a long amount of time in Trade League, once the majority of players have left. Path of Exile 2 currently is not launched in China, as we learned in my interview with Jonathan Rogers about 2 months ago now. Instead, anyone from China playing Path of Exile 2 is actually using a VPN to reach the servers on the rest of the world.
We are only in one big server for everybody, not like in PoE 1 where you have the two. You have a server for the rest of the world and a server specific for China. And in the server specific for China in PoE 1, crazy stuff happens. There is even pay to win as far as I know.
In Path of Exile 1, everybody plays together except for China. China has its own realm. The same is going to be true for Path of Exile 2, and the Path of Exile 2 realm launches with 0.3. Now here,
This is something that to me is kind of weird that the China server is not out yet. I understand that it's probably because it needs some extra attention to be able to refine it for the Chinese audience, right? For the Chinese necessities. But it is weird at the same time because Tencent owns PoE, right? GE. So for me, it feels like it will be a higher priority to have the Chinese server ready. So this also at the same time, to me at least, makes me believe Tencent is off hands with GG. They are letting them do whatever they want. And they are not pressuring them to, hey, the Chinese server, the Chinese server, the Chinese server, right? Which also gives me hope in that, because sometimes people are doomers because, oh, GG doesn't exist anymore. Everything is Tencent and everything sucks, whatever. Well, if there is no Chinese server, this makes me think that there is not so much pressure in the part of Tencent. Maybe I am doing a stupid connection in here and there is something behind the scenes that I don't know. But hey, that is a connection I am making.
Here's why that is, and then how it's going to affect you, most likely. The Chinese realm in Path of Exile 1, at least, is very different from the rest of the world. They have different systems, they have different types of microtransactions, they have literal pay-to-win stuff in there.
So yes, I was right. They have literal pay-to-win. I told you.
It's a completely different battleground, honestly. They have stuff like loot pets, they have actual pets that are like human females, you know, scantily clad girls that follow them around and all that stuff. It's wild, okay? This is because Chinese players are seemingly okay with having some level of pay to win in their game. They're okay with having these microtransactions that basically give them cheat codes in the game itself, because that is the atmosphere over in China with games. It's just par for the course. That's not true for the rest of the world. So with Path of Exile 2, that is going to be the same thing. It has been confirmed that China will have a separate realm. They will have a separate development team. There will be Chinese specific content. And while I don't think that's extra quests, extra monsters, extra items, I do think that's the systems we've talked about before, the microtransactions that are pay to win and the like. Oh, also, China has a death log in Path of Exile 1. I bet they'll have one in Path of Exile 2 as well. That's something that I would really like in Path of Exile 2's worldwide version. So how is this going to affect you? Well, the people in China are insane grinders, okay? They play and they play a lot, and they play all the way through the end of the league. If you are playing right now and you are in Trade League, odds are you have interacted with someone from China who is absolutely blasting up until the very end of Dawn of the Hunt. I know my dad is. Well, once this happens, all those Chinese players who heavily interact with the trade economy, gone completely. Their items won't be there. All the currency they provide won't be there. Just gone. Okay? That might be a little bit of a curse. I know that there are also accusations of RMT. I cannot.
Doesn't matter. When the game goes free to play, you will have Latin American people taking over, dude. Doing the grinding for the real money trading instead. I need anime girl pet now. No, fuck that. Fuck that. Don't give me anime girl pets in this shit, brother. I would uninstall the game at that point. What the fuck?
Speak to that honestly. I've never engaged with that. I've never really dove into it. But I do know that they provide a ton of value in the regular trading market. So basically, a large amount of avid Path of Exile 2 players who participate in the trade economy and speedily trade are going to disappear. They're going to move to the Chinese realm. So we're going to lose a lot of people who we were playing with before and may have relied upon to make consistent, reliable trades.
Exactly. This can be a positive or a negative. We have to wait and see what is going to happen. Maybe this makes the economy healthier. Maybe it makes it that there is less supply of stuff, but maybe it also makes things less inflationary. We have to wait and see.
That is really unfortunate. Now, we do know that Path of Exile 2's developers, Grinding Gear Games, have a new trading system designed. The question now is, will this be implemented in 0.3?
No, I will tell you right now, I know that it is not going to be implemented in 0.3, but I know that it will be implemented before 1.0, and that is good enough to me. Yes, I hate the current trading system. I am the #1 guy pushing for a good trading system in-game. But if it comes in December, I am fine with that. If it comes in April, I am fine with that. I just want it to be in the game at some point, right? And when we have more information that how it is going to be better.
Perhaps massage a few of these worries away. I really, really hope so. So those were the two big pieces of news from that interview, in my opinion. I will leave the Beely link in the description below if you'd like to watch it. It's fully translated, so you'll have to read the actual subtitles. I will say the community members from China went freaking in on some things. They even questioned why Jonathan sits cross-legged. It was hilarious. They also talked about stuff like minion balance, armor, evasion, mace skills, axe skills, sword skills, just new weapons in general, and a bunch of other balance.
I saw a summary of stuff, and I don't know why Try is not bringing it up, but there was some mentioning, for example, of how they are trying to get swords into the game before 1.0, and if they can't make it, they are going to do it in 1.0, right? If they can make it before, tops 1.0, but they want to get swords into the game, for example. That is something they said in that interview. They also said that there is a possibility that there is not a new class in 0.3 because they want to balance the current ascendancies in the game. They also said that. I don't know why Try is not bringing that up. Maybe I have to do a separate video covering those news, going over the summary, you know.
Stuff, but a lot of the time it was Jonathan giving the usual line of, we're aware, we're working on it, the game is insanely broken, players need to understand that the game is not in the state we'd like it to be in, we have a ton of mistakes in there, and we need to fix it as fast as possible. Which also leads me to my next little point. It is July 9th, it is 6:30 a.m. right now, and there has not been another Path of Exile 2 patch. The latest update for Path of Exile 1, 3.26, has been out for a while now, and we were supposed to get a 0.2.3 patch for Path of Exile 2 addressing balance concerns with skills, with ascendancies, and the like, per my chat with Jonathan. And that has not happened, and the later we get into July, and the closer we get to that August launch of 0.3, the more I'm thinking that's not gonna happen, which is understandable, but it's also a shame. I know that there are very few people playing Path of Exile 2 right now.
I was going to tell you exactly that. Why do a patch for right now for PoE 2 if nobody's playing the game? Don't care about that. Focus all your energy on 0.3 at this point. Focus all your energy on 0.3. And since we are on July 10, for me, I think we are really close for an announcement. Like, this week is already almost over, so I don't know if we are getting it this week, but next week we are 100% getting the announcement of the patch, right? Of the name of the patch and when they are going to release a patch and when they are going to reveal all the actual information. You know, they do the announcement of the announcement. We are 100% getting it next week. There is no way in hell we don't, right?
I think it dipped below 10,000 concurrent players on Steam alone the other day, but still, they said they were going to go in, make some balance adjustments to some skills for the people still playing or people who wanted to hop back in before 0.3. Oh, and that does not appear to be happening. They might be saving all the juicy stuff for 0.3.
Yes, and I agree with that decision, by the way. At this point, not necessary to release a patch. Save it all for 0.3.
In August. And when is it going to launch in August? I just bought tickets accidentally, I guess, for a comedian on August 15th. Please don't launch on August 15th. August 1st, August 8th, those are the launch days. Don't do August 15th, and please, please, please do not do August 22nd for some people.
Because that is the last epoch. But hey, this time it is last epoch's fault, not GG's fault. Because GG announced first that they were going to do an August release, and last epoch went ahead and said, hey, no. Now it is not GG's fault.
People out there who might get upset about clashing with Last Epoch. Anyway, so what do you guys think about the changes incoming with the Chinese realm being introduced and the new acts coming sooner than you think? What have you been up to? Are you still playing Path of Exile 2? Are you just waiting for 0.3? I am playing a very, very, very tiny amount.
I am playing PoE 1 and having a great time, but I still want 0.3, of course.
Most of my time now, guys, is actually being spent. My free time is being spent in Guild Wars 2. Very relaxing, very chill.
Never played Guild Wars.
Just going through, playing different parts of the game late at night, and then getting some very good sleep. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Is Druid also
I've not
coming in
been
0.3?
sleeping much because I work all the fucking day, then I stream, and then I edit videos, and then I sleep for 4 hours and go again. Dude, help me, God, please. Get me to full-time videos so I don't have to do this shit anymore and just focus on the content. Dude, please. Hey, try. Good video, dude. Good video. You focus on the two biggest news, as you said in the start, which is that acts are coming soon and that the trade system is also coming. They are confirming. Yeah, finally, we know for a fact the trading system is coming, which is cool because I've been pushing for this since I started playing in December. We need the trading system. People call me an idiot, but they are doing it. So who is the idiot now? But thank you for the news, dude. I think there are other news that come from that interview that we can also look into it. But hey, you didn't want to be here 1 hour, and I understand. Thank you so much, my dude. What do you guys think? Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I a clown? Am I a genius? Let me know everything in the comments below. I love reading comments even when they don't agree with me. Also, remember to like the video, to subscribe to the channel, all that cool stuff. Guys, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. God bless you. And remember, don't be afraid ever, because this is just a ride.